Was it like I mean, obviously changed opponent late in the game, but you were going to stay on this card no matter what, right? It's a hometown card.
Absolutely, yeah. Was it like 2 weeks ago? I got the phone call. I was obviously very excited for the rematch with Luke. As a competitor, to be able to have a rematch and be able to show that wasn't as the best of me that night was a huge opportunity for me, and it was I was excited for it. But Jacare, I mean, it's a ticket to what I want. To be able to get a title fight and have the opportunity to get my belt back is the goal. So whoever can get me there, that's who I want to fight, and Jacare does that. So it doesn't really matter. The only difference is one guy's orthodox, one guy's southpaw. It's not that big of a deal. It's a fist fight, two punches. I mean, two fists, two kicks coming at you. So all the same stuff. I just gotta go out there and do my thing.
Is it frustrating though in some ways because you're planning on Rockhold? He's a guy that you've been trying to get back now for a number of years, and all of a sudden he's injured. He's had some injury issues in the past. Now he's injured. You got to fight someone else on short notice.
Yeah.
Is that at all frustrating?
It was frustrating for about 15 minutes because I was obviously pissed off. I wanted to fight Luke, and I was excited to do that. And obviously, I felt I was going to win and do it in a dominant way. And so when you have those visions set up, and then all of a sudden you got to get rid of that and get ready for someone else, you get frustrated for a little bit. But then I got super excited about Jacare. He brings a lot of dangers to the table, a lot of challenges that I have to overcome as well. So it's something I'm super excited for.
Do you feel like you need that fight against Rockhold eventually?
Honestly, no. I mean, listen, as a competitor, I'd love to get all my rematches back. So any one of them I want back. But the goal for me is to win the world championship. Hold that belt. That's really what I'm doing this for. So whoever can get me there, gets me there. If I can get rematches and it gets me there, it's double as good.
You come into this fight off of a win, unlike going into the Gaston fight. Your confidence level, what's the difference here between coming in off a win versus off a loss?
Yeah, it's a big difference. I went from the highest of highs, beating Anderson Silva. It was 9-0, fighting him, the greatest of all time. Beat him twice, defended my belt 3 times. Undefeated, undisputed, one of the few guys who ever do it. It was the highest of highs. And then to hit the lowest of lows 3 fights in a row, it affects your confidence. And confidence is everything in this game. And going into the Gastelum fight, it was mentally draining to keep that confidence up, because the reality is my hand didn't get raised 3 times in a row. You have all the doubters and naysayers, you hear them, you try to silence them, but it's work to do that mentally. And so it was a mental battle leading up to that fight. And I just had to realize, look, every one of those fights was a different situation. The Luke fight, I was winning. I knew things that happened before the fight. In each one of those fights, the Romero fight, these are all fights I was winning. These are all fights I was capable of winning, and it didn't work out for me. Things went wrong. And I tried to look at each one of those individual fights and realize that just because they compounded in as 3, that doesn't define me as all of a sudden as a bad fighter or anything like that. And so thank God I was able to persevere and come out of all that adversity on the other side and get a win over Gastelum and finish Gastelum, the only person ever to finish him. He's a tough dude. And then I hit adversity again with my thumb, 2 thumb surgeries, and we're back again. But coming off a win feels way better, to be honest. It's just because you already know. You're not questioning yourself as much. You don't question yourself. It's just, I already know what I'm capable of.
Does it feel like a win on Saturday still gets you that title shot that you've been wanting?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think whether it was Luke or Jacare, it'd be getting me a title fight. Before I even had this fight set, it was between me or Gastelum, who was going to be fighting for the title. And they decided to go with him. I was coming off injury. It's a business. It's all good. And then, if you believe you're the best in the world, you got to be ready to fight any of these guys. And any of these guys in the top 5 are tough. But I believe I'm better than everybody, so I just have to ready to show that.
Whittaker and Gastelum probably going to fight, I guess, January, February of next year. Will you be ready just in case if you're to win Saturday?
Yeah.
Someone gets hurt.
What I was told by my manager when I got the phone call about Luke being dropped out is that I'd be the replacement fight. I win this fight, I'm the replacement fight for, in case I guess Gastelum gets injured, and then I'd fight the winner.
Okay. So you go to the fight wherever it will be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably Australia.
I have no idea. I'm at the UFC,
Don't play coy with us, Chris.
I'm a fish.
He didn't want to play one-on-one with you?
Vante doesn't want any of this one-on-one. And honestly, the match, I'm so damn competitive. Last time I played one-on-one with him, he's so unathletic and dopey. I got hurt. He hip checked me, and I went down on my shoulder. This is years ago.
He played in the NFL. He's unathletic.
He's super unathletic.
It probably ended a split decision.
He's good at sprinting one direction, but if you throw a little cone in there, this guy's falling over his 2 feet.
How is the thumb after?
I'm just kidding. He's super athletic. What?
How is the thumb after
The thumb is amazing. Yeah, I started this camp about like 14, 15 weeks out just to really, have the thumb tested out. Heavy sparring. I started with just boxing sparring to feel it with the punches. Then I got into the grappling, and it's been honestly no issues. My grip actually feels stronger on my left hand now than it did before, and it's stronger than my right hand.
And obviously, you touched on the Romero fight here. Is that giving you extra motivation to avenge that loss here?
To have redemption in Madison Square Garden. Last time I was here was 2 years ago. Fought Yoel Romero, and I got hit with the knee, and it was very disappointing for me. It was heartbreaking. And again, I was in the lowest of lows during those times, and to get a win over in Madison Square Garden, it's going to be an amazing feeling. But not that I'm thinking about that, but it's going to be something that it feels good to know that I came back and persevered in the same place that I lost.
What do you think of this Ben Askren for Demetrius Johnson trade? Did you even know the trades could be a thing in that?
No, I don't think anybody knew trades. I think Ben Askren I don't think he knew trades was a thing either. But I think it's great for the sport. I think the fact that the UFC is willing to deal with other companies and negotiate, and there's a free agency, it seems like now, and I think it's good for all the fighters, and it's nice to see that the UFC is playing ball like that.
If the UFC could trade for anyone in the world to fight you, who would you want them to get?
Bob Sapp. Me and Bob Sapp have a problem.
Is that right?
Yeah, we ran into each other at an event, and he eyed me down, and I made him flinch. No, I'm just kidding. There's no problem. But hey, Bob Sapp, bring him in. Mousasi. Is that where you're going to? Mousasi?
No,
okay.
It was open-ended.
Yeah, I'll take Bob Sapp. Bob Sapp seems like a tough fight.
So you're moving to heavyweight?
I'll go up to heavyweight for that. Yeah.
Maybe MSG next year, you against Bob Sapp.
MSG, Weidman, Bob Sapp, that thing would sell. That thing would be crazy. I'm in. I'm buying the ticket.
I feel less of a burden that fighting in New York now since it's been around for so many years. It's the third time at the Garden.
Yeah, this is my fourth fighting in New York now, and it's nice to, there's not any things that you don't expect anymore. I didn't know what to expect walking into these arenas as a New York guy, and after it got legalized, I didn't know what to expect. And I know what to expect now. So everything's just, I feel comfortable.
So since you brought up,
it's also new, like staying in. What are you doing, Ramondi? Don't go back to your old ways, Ramondi. No, hang on. Okay. Cut him off, please.
You brought up Mousasi. Sounds like that's still on your mind. You want that fight.
Mousasi would be a fun one to get back, man. He's a tough dude, and he did look good against Rory McDonald, and he's a tough guy. And listen, I'm a competitor. That fight did not end right. That was I think I got screwed in that fight. That's another fight I was winning, and I would love to get that one back. But any of my losses, Yoel Romero, Mousasi, Luke, there's no bad blood. It's just I'm super competitive, and for whatever reasons, those nights that weren't my night, and I know I'm capable of beating them. So I would love to get a rematch on all of them. But like, as much as that is important to me, it doesn't come close to having the UFC belt and making lots of money. So that, like, the UFC belt is where it's at, man. UFC belt is what I want, and it would be nice if they were coming up and I was defending against them and stuff. We'll see. I got a tough guy in front of me in Jacare, and we got some fights to go.
That fight happened in New York, and fighting here again in New York. Was there any hesitance to? I know obviously you're from here and you want to fight here, but the commission has had some.
Yeah. I wasn't happy with the commission in a few things, especially in the first couple of fights I had in New York. But I'm just. Obviously, I want to fight in New York, and just because there's an issue with the commission it's not going to stop me, So.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.